Okay, we have the minutes from February 22nd. Everybody got those and had a chance to read them? They look okay. To hear a motion that we accept the minutes as presented from February 22nd, 2/2/222.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I will move approval of those minutes, if that's okay.
I said that before Billy did.
You wanted to, I know.
Second
22,
motion.
22.
All right. Call the roll.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rader?
Yes.
Mr. Street?
Yes.
Mrs. Halagus? Chairman Bernicki?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, before we get started with the consent agenda, I did want to make sure that the error was corrected regarding the time of the market in downtown North, Henry Davis. It is 1 to 4. In your packet, I think it still said 8 to 1.
Okay, 1 to 4 on Sunday, and they may decide to do it on Saturday, and if they do, fine.
Yes, sir.
We don't
And there was another thing I wanted to address and answer Mr. Brown's question.
Okay.
So there's a couple of reasons why we're holding it on Sunday instead of Saturday. Because the amount of competition is number one. There's a market downtown, there's a market in St. Andrews, there's a market in Callaway, there's a market in Lynn Haven, there's a market on the beach. So
That's
that
true.
competition, I think, would cause an issue with the market in downtown North. Secondly, the staff member that is working the market is also doing the one in St. Andrews on Saturday. So she can't be in both places.
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to address it because I was getting questions on it, so that's great, that's good enough.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here, consent agenda, motion on 8 on the consent agenda.
A and B, items
Yes.
A and B. I'll
Yes.
move approval.
Your second.
Second motion.
Call the roll.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rader?
Yes.
Mr. Street?
Yes.
Mrs. Halagus?
Yes.
Chairman Bernicki?
Yes.
Item number 3 is the CRA Annual Report for fiscal year 2021. By Florida statute, we're required to produce a annual report that explains and shows the expenditures and the income that we've generated during a fiscal year period. This annual report happens to reflect what we've expended in the fiscal year 2020 through 2021. As you look through the report itself, you'll see all of the activity that occurred during that time period, the amount of money that we expended, as well as the amount of revenue that we did generate. There were a number of projects that came to fruition. We helped out the community residentially greatly, as well as from a commercial standpoint. And again, all of that is depicted in the report. Once the report is approved, it will be on our website for citizen review, and then we're also required to forward it to Tallahassee. Are there any questions?
So it's a mission statement, and kind of several things in that. There's nothing we have to vote on, is it?
Well, you have to vote approval of the report so that we can go ahead and forward it to Tallahassee. It's due to Tallahassee
I
by
see.
March 31st.
Do we need to go through them or not?
There's nothing
Anyone
in
have any
particular.
questions on the report?
No.
No?
Okay, I hear a motion that we approve the report as presented.
I'd like to make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
I'll second. Discussion? Call the roll.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rader?
Yes?
Mr. Street?
Yes.
Mrs. Halagus?
Yes.
Chairman Bernicki?
Yes.
The next item is item number 5, which are the district updates. I'm going to go ahead and let Lena begin first. Just to give you a side point, unfortunately, Chris's wife's business was hugely affected by the storm on Friday. The roof was torn off, windows, doors were blown out, sheetrock and all that other stuff got wet. So he's out for a couple of days trying to address that for her. She owned that octagonal building that's just north of Beck and 98, to the right there.
I saw where that roof from the one next door got wrapped around the gas station pole. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Right.
The metal?
Yeah.
The one that lost its entire roof is the one that's ours, not the octagonal one. So thankfully, nobody was hurt in it, so that was about, 5 blocks from my house, so.
Wow. Close.
Yeah. So as for downtown, we're still working on a lot of different things. This month, of course, has been just refocusing on the year. Everybody's kind of coming out of their Christmas season, and a lot of people downtown have taken their vacations, so that was good for them. One of the things we are looking at, though, is the Harrison Streetscape project, as that's coming down the road. Everyone is getting excited, but some of our merchants are getting a little fearful of how that's going to negatively impact their business for a short time. So I'm working with Public Works to see about getting some additional signage to maybe help to let people know that they are still open during that time, and also to know where there's additional parking. So that is our biggest focus for right now, and then trying to coordinate events. You know, the city has events, different organizations has events. Downtown is a very popular venue to do this. Trying to coordinate those events and make sure our merchants know, especially if there's road closures, because again, that will affect some of those businesses. It's kind of 50-50 whether they like it or not when the roads do close. So we're just trying to get the word out more, trying to get better about making sure everyone knows what's going on downtown. So,
Thank
any
you.
questions?
I know we got 3 new businesses open this week,
Yep.
and one 2 weeks ago, the Harrison Juices, and then some other things. But the facades, I know that there's a lot of in here that the CRA has helped with. I mean, even where Dee Rowan's office is and the, oh my
Clemens.
gosh,
Clemens.
thank you, the Clemens building right there. I mean, that makes a huge
Didn't it?
impact on that corner. I am
I
just
loved
like,
it.
wow.
Right.
So it's nice to see, and I hear a lot of people, I had somebody call me last night wanting to know if there's any real estate in the code, keep it open, they really want to move close to downtown and they're at Bay Point. And so I just thought, well, that's great. I mean, it just shows that, you know, that I know it wasn't a CRA, but are we, you know, it took a long time to design the streetscapes, a really long time. Should we go ahead and start that process of design so that we're ready? We have construction documents by the time we're,
I would like that.
yeah. look
I would,
at it.
I'm one to be more proactive where I'd
I
like
don't
to
know why
see
you're
something in
back
place.
there. You need to be up here.
I'd like to see those design guidelines be updated, and, you know, whatever involvement we need to have, I'm more than willing to be a part of, because as we move forward with the grants, we're gonna need to take that in consideration. I mean, already, any major plans like that, of course, has to go through our planning office, and Mike Lane does a great job of assessing that and making sure that that's gonna kind of go in with the same look that we have. But it would be a lot easier going forward with grants that if we had those design guidelines set in place and in writing, that we had something to go off of.
Sounds good.
You know, you're talking about the streetscape. I know that someone was applying to put buildings on Jinx Avenue, those portable buildings, and they could not put them there because it was on the gateway. Now, I'm driving down Harrison Avenue, and there's a guy that's got them right on Harrison Avenue now. That's a gateway coming in the city. How in the world can he have those buildings there? We need to,
Yeah. how did that-
okay, I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
it's those, you know, the little portable building, I mean, he's got them right up on the street, and they're supposed to be behind a decorative fence where nobody could see them. Is that, I'm not sure how that got approved, but, and there are homes back behind there, but I don't think those are supposed to be on the gateway, so we need to check that out.
We'll certainly check that and get with
Yeah,
code
and when you
enforcement.
think about all the investment the district's put into Bay High School and how that's gonna change and all of that, and then.
These
like
are right
Prairie
across the
Ridge
street.
And all their,
I
yeah,
know where
this,
you-
that.
Yep, I've
yeah,
seen them.
Yep.
That needs to be addressed.
Okay, great, thank you.
Seen 'em.
So to add to your comment, Jenna, we are gonna have an opportunity, which Mark's already kind of taken a little bit of action towards. We've been talking about doing a complete streets project on North Harrison, leading up to where
yeah.
the flyover would be. There is a resurfacing project that's coming up, and so FDOT has communicated they'd like to work with us on a complete streets project, so just.
Well,
And
they're
I was-
supposed to be giving us that,
I was
or
really talking about.
giving us those streets,
I was
right?
really talking about the part of Harrison that we've gotten from the state. The next phase of the Harrison Street.
I
That's
think
what
we
I
may
was,
still be waiting on the grant, the sub-grant agreement.
well, we can't start yet, but I just was thinking the design part. Go ahead,
Okay.
Mark. Come talk to us at
Come
the
to public
podium,
meetings.
please. State your name
So
and
you got
address.
all
No.
Hi, I'm Mark McQueen. I'm your city manager at 501 Harrison Avenue. So indeed, we are waiting for the subrecipient agreement. As soon as the subrecipient agreement comes in, which is for the $5.2 million that the governor awarded for the continuation of the streetscape, Harrison Avenue streetscape, from 4th Street to 6th Street. As soon as we get that subrecipient agreement, we have to go through the same procurement process, and then we'll procure our engineer, but the idea would be that the same look and feel that is in the original
Sure, yeah.
will continue up to Sixth Street. And then separately, working with Commissioner Street with regard to DOT, it's very clear to DOT that the desire of the city is to acquire Harrison Avenue, 231 from Malfunction Junction all the way down to Sixth Street, and so that we can continue a look and feel for that corridor. Having said that, DOT is wanting to partner with the city with regard to helping to enhance some streetscapes along that segment between 15th Street and Sixth Street.
So we can't start on that. I was just wanting to be ready when we get the
We're
sub-recipient,
ready.
but we're not allowed to,
We can't.
part of the, okay, procurement is we can't step ahead of that
We're-
design.
That's why things, when they come in, like what just happened to approve the $20 million from DEO, as soon as we get the DEO grant for the $5.2 million for the streetscape, we will bring that to the commission, and that will start the process.
Okay.
But we're very grateful to the governor and Director Eagle, Director Guthrie, that have done yeoman's work in getting this community funding.
Yeah, good stuff. All right,
Very good.
thank you.
Thank you.
I could tell he was trying to be like, let me just straighten them out up there real quick.
Okay,
As far-
public, or what?
Well, we need to finish up.
Okay.
As far as downtown north is concerned, as I mentioned last month, the digital sign has been repaired. It is functioning properly. The other thing too, we had some volunteers in for the past 2 weeks, and so we put them to work and had them painting A.D. Harris. So they've completed that painting project. There has been more interest in tenants wanting to rent space over there. I've received a couple of calls last week. So we hope to have that as a robust, very active site coming forward.
That's always been our goal.
Yeah. The other thing too is Cups and Coffee. So that's planned for the 30th of this month. That'll be next week from 5:30 to 6:30. And it gives the community an opportunity to have dialogue with law enforcement. That needs to take place. So it would be nice if any one of you would participate, show up, and have a conversation with some of our citizens. Lastly, as noted on our consent agenda, the market for Henry Davis was approved. So we hope to get that started as early as next month. We also plan to have free food given away. I've been in touch with 2 nonprofits who, one has funding that allows them to offer 10,000 pounds of groceries to be offered to our citizens. So that's an opportunity that will bring traffic to the market. So we look forward to that. As far as Millville is concerned, as Commissioner or Ms. Halligan knows, the stop signs were installed last Wednesday. So when you talk about security and safety for our citizens, that certainly is going to have a huge effect on that particular area over there. One of the other things that we have going on, we have a couple of RFPs that have been announced just recently with regard to housing. As everybody knows, there's an issue with current affordable housing. So we have a number of RFPs that were announced last week for construction of new housing, and we're looking for a specific price point to meet our citizens' needs for those that can afford them. Lastly, for St. Andrews, I know one of the big topics is the P3, and I know the questions were going to be asked, so I've provided you a synopsis of, or a summary of what our in-house committee reviewed and has commented on regarding the 2 P3s that were submitted. We are still waiting for responses from and recommendations from HR&A. I did receive an email from Tanner last night that said it'll be a couple of weeks, but one of the things I am going to recommend is that the 2 proposers make a presentation to either the CRA board or to the commission so that you all can ask any questions or concerns that you might have. One of the items that was listed in Trowbridge's proposal was the fact that they wanted to purchase the land. And so we weren't interested in doing that. We were looking for a long-term lease on that property. So that's one of the things we're going to have to get resolved. In reviewing the notes or comments, do any of you have any questions with regard to what we've put together so far?
That's interesting. I'd love to see a presentation. It's fascinating that you can fit that much. And I like the idea of, I mean, who doesn't love the idea of a rooftop bar and all that, but I did see where you said in here that it would go above what the St. Andrews citizens desire for that area in the sense of height, and I'm like,
I think there is a height limit conversation that's going to be held fairly soon with the citizens. Did you?
Yeah, it's on Thursday.
It's
And,
this Thursday.
do you know what kind of height that we're really talking about here?
So with the Trowbridge proposal, it's actually 4 stories. It's commercial downstairs and then 3 stories above with housing. Let me correct that, I'm sorry, it's 3 stories total, and it's 2 stories above with housing. But with the recommendation of the hotel from the JMM group, they are looking at commercial downstairs, 3 stories, and then a rooftop. So it actually brings it to 5 stories, and
That's
that
still
may be a concern, I'm not sure.
That actually still meets the Dover-Cole recommendations, yeah.
I mean, I
Rooftop
would
doesn't
think
count
under-
if it's accessible.
Well, I was wondering if rooftop wouldn't be, not the same as,
Yeah.
and it's it's not a complete amenity, you'd have to get paid to be there, but it's open to everybody,
Yeah.
right? It's not just for the development, so
Right.
that'd be cool, I
I
think.
think if it's open, it doesn't count anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't,
No.
as long as
It's
it's
like
usable
mechanical.
attic space, it
Right.
doesn't, it adds,
So
yeah.
it is.
Right, right.
All right, well, good.
All right. So that's where we are with the P3. One other thing is that Fuchsius is here this week to finish installing the cameras. They didn't have an opportunity to install the first of the month. So I know, for example, Bob's Top Shop over in Millville, they plan to install that, plus there's cameras going in over at 80 Harris. And that's basically it. If you have any other questions, please let me know.
Public comment?
Michael, just one question. So do you think by the next time we meet next month, we'll have stuff back from
HRNA?
HRNA?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then, so I guess we'll just, you and Mark discuss on whether or not we'll see that commissioner here.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
I'd
I did
love
have
to
one
see
more
a
question
proposal.
about Millville. I haven't talked to Johnny, I don't know. How are we doing have y'all talked at all about the small little complete streets or streetscapes for that block or two back
I've
there?
talked to Jared about it. Johnny's not here anymore, so I've had to talk to Jared about it, and we're moving forward with that, and I'm giving him ideas and things like that. The other thing too, Mr. Street, it has to do with the lighting. So we talked about, and I got some input, not only from the partnership, but as well as from the citizens on the design for the lighting that they would like. So if we could sit down at some point and go over that to make sure it was in accord with what you are interested in, I would appreciate it.
I think as long as we're keeping the nautical theme, I didn't get any kind of pushback or
Okay.
anything else like that.
Okay, good.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Michelle Clay, 803 East 10th Street, and I'm going to try to keep this to my 3 minutes. I just have comments and questions that all be bundled all together. First, I just want to say thank you to the CRA and Mike Johnson. Looking at the report, they've done a really good job with assisting the community, considering Hurricane Michael, of course, the loss of key staff and COVID. One thing I'll say for community support is that the CRA, I'll give them an A for business. You guys are doing a phenomenal job with bringing business into the CRA, giving them incentives to wanting to be in the different CRAs. Where the grade kind of drops to a C-, and I'm sorry, I have kids, so it's going to be grades, is when it comes to community support. And it kind of ties into the question that I brought earlier, where while it's not totally on the city, there would be a great opportunity for the CRA to look at offering opportunities for seniors and children. I know before you had the Glenwood Community Center, it seems so loud, Glenwood Community Center had a senior program there, and I know with the change in staff and everything that probably got put on the burner, but there's definitely a need to bring that. While I have partnered with Quality of Life and we have our Thursday meetings at Oakland Terrace, there's a great need to potentially have senior meetings all across the CRAs for transportation issues or just the fact of people wanting to be in their community and their surroundings to get together. As far as children, as you know, the 80 Harris Center has been remodeled. There's a gym there. MLK Center will be not in use for years. We know that's going to take a process, but if we could open that facility up for the youth to be able to come in, play basketball, maybe reserve some space for the youth to have some youth activities during the summer. So again, A for business, but would definitely love to see more community support to involve our youth and our children. I don't want to say a cliche with Whitney Houston. Our youth is really our future, and we want to have not only businesses coming here, but having their children in our community as well, and having things to do. My only other comment, I know that you guys are the CRA board, but I think it would be awesome if you set up the CRA board similar to the planning board and also offer citizens the opportunity to participate in implementation. As you state in the report, the implementation or the mission statement of the CRA is to be quick to recognize opportunities and strategic changes, and I think having that outside voice will allow you to meet that and have the eyes and ears from the community on your board. I know there's a lot of special projects, and I'm down to 7 seconds. I'll send this in an email. But it'd be really cool if you would allow first right of refusal for entities in Bay County when it comes to your grant process. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael, we're packed today to Harris, aren't we? At least the gym.
Yeah, right now, the gym is rented through the end of May,
But it's youth basketball.
and it's basketball, but then I also have Bay High that rents it for cheerleading. I have wrestling that wants to use it as well. So
That's great,
it's been pretty packed since we've made the renovations. The other thing I did want to mention, though, and I don't know if you have a copy of the report, when you talk about youth, one of the things we initiated last year was the youth employment. So we did reach out and to several of the businesses in Panama City, Bay County, who were especially experiencing issues with not having employees. So many of them were willing to hire staff or hire youth age 15 on up. And a lot of, as it says, we had 31 that got jobs. We've already started that initiative again this year, and we've got several businesses that are wanting youth to work for them this summer. And so we look forward to that being a positive effect on some of the youth in the community.
But we can always improve, so,
Yes, 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 of course.
so get advice.
Some of us. Go ahead, Mr. Henry.
Yeah, Walter P. Henry, 614 Maple Avenue. May I ask a question? Nobody answered him. Those buildings that he's talking about on Harrison Avenue, those storage house buildings, and they were there before y'all decided what y'all were gonna do with Harrison Avenue, unless it just slipped under somebody that nobody didn't realize this was gonna happen. They let them put those buildings there. And I just want to hide those buildings. If you do whatever, or you go make them move them or whatever, or don't have them in there, period. What type of fence are you going to ask them to put there? The height of the fence. Some of those buildings, you put a 4-foot fence, you go still see those buildings. Probably you put a 8-foot fence, you go still see those buildings, because some of them that higher. And that's not the only 10 buildings is on Harrison Avenue. We don't need to surprise folks. I meant, we need to get them notice what you're going to do, you know. But surprising folks and, well, what you going to do with this 10 buildings? Is you going to ask them to put brick on them? Or you ask them that they going to have to find somewhere else to go? You know, it just, I meant, everybody have a right. Everybody have a, you know, we should try to find a reason that we can kind of please get folks where they don't get mad and hateful, you know, because when you just hit a person, all of a sudden, you go get some anger out of them.
Mr. Henry, what happens is that these people surprise us. Instead of us surprising them, they go put something out there that's not supposed to be there. And so then they ask for, permission instead of forgiveness, or forgiveness instead of permission. We'll deal with them. We have to deal with those issues all the time.
Well, they had to have a commission to put them there. It's
Not
legal.
necessarily, not
Some of them
necessarily.
just do it.
Correct. If I start building a house, somebody they gonna wanna know what type of building or what I'm building. I'm gonna have to show some plans on what I'm doing or what I'm gonna establish there in that. If that's my property, I'm gonna establish you, let you know what I'm putting in that property. Then city can say, well, we can't put that there because we got a new ordinance that how we trying to get this street straight looking good. That's what I'm saying, Mayor. I don't think they just put it there and nobody didn't know what they was putting there.
We'll deal.
The other building that's there that I'm talking about, they've been there for a while.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for being here today.